Welcome to the GHE. In this tutorial, we will be covering how to make a female glass-on-glass joint. I'm going to start with a piece of pre-made colored tubing. I'm going to attach my blow hose to it. And the first thing that I want to do to this before ever making a glass-on-glass joint is to make sure that all of my glass wall thickness is even. So I'm going to pull off the tip of this. That'll just clean up the tip. Give it a little bit of air. And now I just want to blow this up and melt it back down a couple times. Even the factory made tubing does not always have perfect wall thicknesses, so I just want to make sure. So I'm really just getting the area hot that I'm going to be using. All right, blow it up again. It's starting to become even, but I still see a little bit of a weird spot. Go and give it another little puff. Okay, so I'm happy with the wall thickness now. I'm going to start by using gravity to pull this a little bit longer, holding my hand straight up. I'm going to bring it to the marver and slightly blow while I try to maintain the shape of a fitting. At this point, all you can do is eyeball the piece. Try to get it as exact as you can before you open up the end. Just gonna give it a little bit of air. It's gonna blow out that end a little bit for me. Now I'll go in and start heating the tip so that I can pop the end open. Okay, now that it's open, there's no point in having my blow hose on it anymore. I'm gonna go ahead and flare this open with my reamer. I'm going to check it for size against my fitting tool. The tool needs to have a little bit of warmth to it, not much, just enough that the wax will stick to it. Notice that I'm primarily heating the tip. I want all of this warm, but I want it hottest out at the tip, the opening. That way when you stick the actual fitting tool in it, it more reams instead of pushes. If it's too hot, too low, it'll cause the piece of tubing to kink. So at this point, I've got a shape that I'm happy with. I want that lip to be flared, so I'm going to heat up just the lip of this piece. I don't want to screw up the fitting that we've already shaped. Stick my tool in at a 45-degree angle and pull it back. I'm going to make sure that it's flat. I want to crispen up that edge a bit. So I'm actually going to marver, wall the pieces in the flame, just heating the very tip of that ring. So constantly making sure that it's flat. Because I've been messing with that lip, the last thing I want to do is make sure that the fitting tool still fits. Okay, everything's looking good. That's how you make the actual glass-on-glass fitting. From here, to get it ready to attach to another piece, I'm going to let it warm up. I'm going to grab the fitting tool that is the same size. If the fitting and the tool are different temperatures, they will become locked for life when you stick them together because of how they contract when they're cold and expand when they're hot. If you stick them together and they lock, you should still be able to kind of give it a twist and pull them apart, which is what we just did here. If for some reason when you stick this in here it doesn't stay snug, then you need to actually go back and remake your fitting, because if it's not snug here, it will not be later on. So I'm going to pull off the amount of glass that I want to keep on here. I'm going to use my V-marver to cut this piece of tubing. Just scoring it and making it cold in one spot. Blow on that spot. Couple little twitches and the whole thing snaps apart. Okay, so I just need to close up that end. And I can go ahead and start getting all of that bubble hot. I'm going to heat up everything that is below my graphite tool. Even though it's a weird shape right now, everything will blow out round. Because your tool is graphite, you can actually get a lot of heat into this and you're not worried about it sticking or melting. So I'm just going to blow it out a little bit. Heat it up and do that again, evening out the glass as well. You could have done numerous things with this. Instead of making it into a ball, you can pull it down straight and have it be its own down stem. For this one, I'm going to go ahead and pop a hole in the side. Just want to make sure that my hole is the same size it'll be on the future piece. I just kind of determine this by using the same reamers each time and just knowing how far they go in. This big reamer will always go in the same amount on each piece. So that concludes the tutorial on how to make a female glass-on-glass joint. Thank you for subscribing to the GHE.